Good morning. My name is Natalie Fox. I'm with Positive Ripples Coaching, and I have the great pleasure of introducing Obi this morning. So Obi is a wonderful individual who is working hard to transform the trades industry to make sure that all of his customers are getting the best quality service possible, along with the best product. So I do not want to take up a lot of time. You're here to hear Obi speak, so I will have him come on up here. But one of the things I absolutely love about Obi is his positive attitude and his willingness to just step in and do whatever you ask. This event to be one of those examples. So Obi, please come up, and thank you so very much.
It's very interesting. As the name says, the brothers that just do gutters. And most of the time, people ask me, where is my brother? and I tell them that my wife is my brother. So my wife and I, we are honored to to have this company, to start up this company. We set off about a year ago. We're actually about a year and a few months in already. And the company actually is owned by two brothers. The names are Ken and Ryan. Yes, Ken and Ryan. They've been in operation for over 20 years right now. And they are actually based in New York. So it's a franchise. We bought into the franchise. And so we launched in May of 2022. And we service over 200 zip codes. And the territories extend all the way from York, up to Scranton, to Williamsport, and to State College, and all the neighboring communities all around. So who are we? We want to be the leading gutter company in our territory. And why do we exist? We actually exist purposely for our staff as well as our community members, so our neighbors, yourself and everyone here. That's actually why we exist. We want to ensure that we are able to deliver 5-star service to our community and to our clients. So what are the services we provide? I know that's based on our name. It says the brothers that just do gutters. Most people, they stop me and ask me, is it just gutters you do? I say, no way. We do more than that. So we offer all these other services. So the first one really is, the seamless gutter installation. We do repairs, cleaning, as well as related services such as soffit, sidings, fascia, name it. We offer all those. And what do we stand for? Our key here is we want to reinvent contractor service. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? So knowing fully well that this industry is more or less like a one-star industry, in the sense that you call people, they don't answer. You ask people to come in and they don't get it done as the right time, the first time. We just wanted to make a change. And for that reason, we wanted to provide a 5-star experience to our clients. And that's actually why we came in here. So we've gotten recognition from a lot of people already. So what's our process like? So our process is, once you give us a call, we answer your calls. That's key. I'll give a quick background to that. Before we set off, I called about 11 gutter companies all around our area, our territory. And out of those 11, only 2 actually picked up my call. And actually just 2 of them came out, to take estimates. So we want to change that. You call us, we come around, and we give free estimates. And secondly, we have a solutionist. So we don't call him a sales guy, we call him a solutionist. Why? Because he actually provides solution. So we go out there, we are all about, interaction, face-to-face interaction. We go out there, we talk to the customers, we understand their needs, we hear them out, and we proffer, recommendation to them. And after that, we always want to ensure that we provide exceptional service, exceptional delivery using, the right materials. So these are the key features that, make us stand out from our competition. So we do not subcontract our work out to people. So this is done in-house. We have dedicated staff who we train in-house. We give them tips and tricks on how to install the job and do it well, efficiently. Then also our gutter coil is thicker when compared to the thinner version of most other companies. It's thick because we want to ensure that, it can last long and it's more stable when compared to other gutter companies. Then we space out our hangers to ensure, the stability and gutter, as well as our downspouts, which are, what flows in, which carries water, into the ground. We provide a 20-year warranty as well as a 5-year labor warranty. So, and this is actually transferable. So if you just sell off your home, then the new homeowner actually also enjoys the warranty. So if anything should happen to the gutter, just give us a call and we will come out to do the repairs. Yeah, we also have the highest full workers' compensation, workers' comp, as well as our leak filter. So our gutter guards is actually the best in the market. It's actually called One Guard. So what do we do? People know us as the gutter company, and these are examples of the pictures of things that we install. We install, K-style gutters. We install One Guard. We install, and they are all seamless. So no, we don't attach gutters together. They're all seamless. And this next picture shows how we run it out. So this is a gutter machine. That's the gutter machine, and it's run out, right from the site at the customer location. So the different types of gutters that we have the K-style gutters. So the A is more or less like half round gutters, A, B, different colors. We offer over 20 types, 20 colors, varied colors of gutter. So just name it. What color do you like most? Some people like blue, some people like purple, some people like, I can see different colors here. Because we offer them all. And it can come in varied, we have the more expensive type, the copper. We have the K-style gutters. We offer all those. So what are our challenges? I know that's why we're here today. So our key challenge, or the top priority, is actually hiring experienced, motivated, installers. It has been very tough, for us. We want to expand, we want to grow, and this is basically, hindering that level of, growth. So my ask basically is, anyone who knows the best way, to get, trades guys who are experienced, who are motivated to work, I'll be very happy to get referrals on that. Then also in terms of leads, we also want to get referrals, from people, commercial developers, contractors, apartment owners. That's a whole long list, right? So I'll just summarize that. We want to be connected to anyone and everyone who owns a property. So I know you all own properties here, and people who own properties. So please connect them to us, and we'll be happy, to go install. So I'll ask you all, please protect your home. Yeah, and if you have any questions, please, I'm happy to answer any questions. So we, as a franchise in this area, we have been in business for about 1 year, 3 months.
Okay, and what are you doing now to get new business?
So right now, we're involved in different areas. So we, more or less, Google is our greatest, source of getting leads. And also involved in networking. So I joined BNI. So right now with BNI, we get some, leads from them too, and also networking around, talking to people, and also reaching out to contractors.
Okay, how is it going with the contractors?
Oh, it's going pretty well.
Okay.
Going pretty well. They are giving us jobs, especially during the slower months, when it starts getting towards winter season. They actually give us jobs, to...
Is this on new buildings?
So both new as well as existing buildings, yes.
Have you done any direct mail or other direct outreach to a list or anything like that? We haven't tried that. What we did the last time was they called it the TRN, now kind of something tape. So if you go into a store and you buy maybe a Wise Market, and after buying things, the receipts printed out, at the back of the receipt, we have our company logo and everything there. Mm-hmm. So we did that. I think it's called the RTN. Yes, the RTN. We haven't done direct mail to people. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we spoke to other franchisees, the owners, and they told us in terms of the that's the name they call it. The response rate
it's not very high when compared to the costs involved. So we haven't tried that.
Do you have testimonials?
Oh yes, we do.
Okay.
So right now, we are all about 5-star review, getting a 5-star review in a 1-star industry. Right now, in our Google, we have over 70 pages, 70 reviews, 5-star reviews, and on Angie, we have over 10 reviews, 5-star reviews.
Anybody else?
Morning, Obi.
Good morning.
I'm just curious, in regards to you recruiting potential employees, what are you offering that might set you apart from some of the other companies? Do you offer benefits to your employees? Do you have a retirement package? What type of things are you offering to entice them?
So right now, we don't offer any benefits, or 401k yet, but we tell them that 1 year in, that is actually in the plan. So we hope that before the next year, that will be an incentive which we will give them. But right now we don't give them. But what we tell them is the fact that they are joining us at this time when there's growth potential. We see ourselves setting up shops in different locations, and it's possible if they come in right now, they are well trained. They have the possibility of moving up right away and being supervisors, being even managers, once we open different outlets.
Here we have a question from Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Good morning, Obi. So as I was listening to your story and you were describing the products that you provide and the quality and how it's superior quality, I was definitely intrigued. But what I noticed, what I was curious about was what are the benefits of those features? So the distinction there is the features would be the details of the products. What are the gauges of the different metals that you're working with, that kind of stuff, that would be the features. And then the benefits is what pain is it solving for me? And as a potential customer, I'm wondering, well, what does that all mean to me? So I wonder if you're using some of that distinction between features and benefits as you market to your potential ideal clients. And it's either a suggestion or a question, depending on how you look at it.
No, that's a fantastic question, and that is one of our marketing. What we market to customers, we actually tell them those benefits. The fact that, for example, the gauge, which is a 032 compared to 027. So, like I mentioned, the 032 is thicker, 027 is thinner, and being thicker, it can actually withstand the pressure of water. Right now, the rain which we get has actually increased, and the thicker version can actually handle more. Of the water, and this gives us more confidence to be able to provide a 20-year warranty when compared to other construction companies or other gutter companies. They don't readily give a 20-year warranty. They can give 10. But we are very confident with the product that we use. We are very confident about the space in which we use, in putting in the hangers. And based on that, I was actually talking to a gutter company, and the guy reached out to somebody else, and he told them, which we later got to know. He told this other guy that he would advise him, the other contractor, to use our company. Why? Because he says they use very good quality materials. Their quality materials are of high quality. If you see our whites, actually, most of the whites, products which you buy from Lowe's and other areas are like 30 degrees white. We use 80 degrees white, and pretty much at the same price. So we use quality materials which can last long, and we are very confident to give a 20-year warranty, and which can be transferable to a new homeowner.
Obi.
Yes.
I'm Bill. I'm a guest here first time. I'm curious, often you hear with franchises, they provide certain support services where they have an expertise in doing for you or helping you accomplish. Is there much in the way of marketing support and search engine optimization and outreach marketing that they provide support for you for, so you don't have to consume your resources with this lead generation through Google and through other kind of social media avenues?
That is an awesome question. So yes, they do. They provide marketing tips. They help in our Google page, even Facebook page also. They put, pictures and things in there. And they also help with the optimization of, our Google page. So yes, they do all those. However, they tell us that they are based in New York. We are local in our area. So we need to also think of ideas on how to increase the leads. We should not just depend on only the Google, even though it gives us about 70% of our leads. Interact with people, get to know people within your community, and through that you can get even more leads.
Mm-hmm. Follow-up question related to this industry, this business.
Yes.
How tightly linked is replacing a roof with replacing the gutters on the structure?
Right.
Is that a heavy link between those two? Like those who's doing the roofing
Yes.
can refer for the gutter work too.
Oh yes. So one of our very good the people who we work with are basically roofers. So that's one thing I did immediately. We started off. I pretty much had a list of thanks to some people here, who gave me, some tips and ideas and, contacts. So went out and met with them, and it has been awesome, really. Have contact with, I don't know if I should mention it online here. Have contacts with many roofers within our areas here, the big ones, the small ones. And they give us jobs. So it's highly linked. So most of the time after the install has been done for roofing, the customers want new gutters to be installed. And also it's better to install the roof without the gutters, so that, and later on install the gutters so that, there won't be any hole in between the roof as well as the gutters, so it doesn't drip behind the gutters. Mm-hmm. So yes.
Okay, that sounds like a great referral avenue is through the roofing companies themselves.
Yes.
Another thing on training. Now, I'm guessing you probably didn't work as a gutter installer yourself before you started this business.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that.
So I'm sure it's not necessary to have done it yourself. Do they provide a lot of training, your franchise organization, so that you don't have to be the expert in that training? So they have people that would support training, and then after, on the job calls or questions they might have?
So really, that's a fantastic question also, in the sense that, I tell people, my wife and I, we're accountants. And when people ask me right now that, what am I, what's my profession? I tell them I'm a carpenter, so, an accountant trained now carpenter. And I love it, and how do I, what caused that transition is basically the training, which we received. So before starting off, we went up to New York. We were there for about a week, and they showed us, gave us tips on how to install gutters. Okay. So even though I don't install personally, I have a well-versed knowledge, I'll say a theoretical knowledge on how to install. And the guys are fully trained on the real installation before they go out to install.
Okay. So given that, then my advice would be then hire for attitude. If they provide training, yes, your whole experience with your customer base is the attitude and the promptness and the interaction with the customer. Yes. So typically you can train them on how to do the installation.
Yes.
And sometimes contractors don't have the best attitude in interacting with their customers.
Yes.
So be very confident to go outside of someone who's done contracting work and hire someone who's got the right attitude, mm-hmm, the right kind of customer interaction skills.
Yes.
And they can learn how to do the craft.
That's exactly why the first point says highly motivated installers. We have a whole lot of installers right now who come in. Some don't even show up for interviews. You call them, they said they're coming, you're still waiting for them, they don't show up. Right. While some show up and on the first day, they are not nowhere to be found. While some come in and, when you see them, say no. So we want people who are motivated, who want to engage with the vision of the company, because we set ourselves apart from other companies, and we want people who buy into the vision, who run with that vision, and who see the whole big picture on where we want to go as a company. Hi, Jason.
Hi. I hear you saying the same thing that many of my clients say. I work primarily in the home health care industry, and their biggest factor limiting their growth is the ability to hire people and to retain them. And some of the things that we've done is, and accountants will appreciate this, calculate the acquisition cost of a new hire that makes it 90 days, and then calculate the acquisition cost of replacing that person. And what you'll find is it's much higher than people perceive. But it will give you a good basis for, can I actually afford to give benefits right away? Can I afford to bring this person on full time, even if they aren't working nonstop, rather than hourly? And those kinds of things create that motivation. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to say highly motivated installers because there's no gauge for measuring that. So I encourage you to look at things that you can quantify when you're going through this hiring process and recruiting process, and figure out what works for your company.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. I think that's a good point, because really the cost of training and retraining is really very high, especially a very skilled, experienced installer who we have trained all the while, and all of a sudden, just decided to leave. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Just one quick one. Do you have a question? No, I won't go ahead. Oh, okay. Obi, I'm just wondering if you can speak to in regards to the experience that your company brings to the table, Jacob as a solutionist.
Yes. So in terms of experience of our workers, so one of them is our solutionist, Jacob. He has over 20 years of construction experience. So most of the time, when we have an estimate which he goes for, I tell the homeowner that use him in whatever area, even apart from the gutter itself, because he's well versed, he's very experienced. So he gets there, he tells them, oh, okay, see, this is the issue you called us for. However, you should be on the lookout for this. He's really very experienced.
Hi, Obi. I'm also an accountant by trade.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now I do different things. I related to that piece. Just from like a marketing perspective, I think Google's, it's 80% of the game, right? So do you use a consultant by chance?
No, we don't.
So that's potentially something to look into, because it's almost like a numbers game, right? They know if you put this much money into it, you're going to get in front of this many people, and then you're going to get this many calls, and they can automate the calls. And there's so much technology now. Yes. It was kind of exciting to learn about that piece. I didn't quite have the funds to put it there, but and there's some local consulting firms that I know of that I could potentially connect you with. But when you were talking about really trying to kind of be like in the talk of the town and neighborhood and things like that, two pieces that came to mind was the Facebook groups seem to be pretty active in when people are asking for things, and so if you cover a pretty large area. Yes. But if you could get connected with a couple of the 5 or 6 kind of main groups, yes, and you kind of watch to see, someone will say, I need gutters, who do I go to? And if you guys are kind of on top of that, you're part of that conversation, and then all of a sudden 500 people see it, or they share, or whatever it is, or someone says, oh, I had a great experience. That to me is kind of like the new, kind of like how neighborhoods are talking. And then the other piece is, and you probably do this, do you put a sign out front when you guys are working?
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay, because that's what our neighbor will get their driveway paved, and then all of a sudden, 5 other neighbors are getting their driveway paved, just because you see it and it's top of mind. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were doing that.
I see in one of your slides, the side of the truck looks like a It's like a rolling billboard.
Oh, yes.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, talking about marketing, we do a whole lot. So
Okay.
even apart from the, from Google, and apart from, making connections through BNI, and within the town, within the area, yep, we do the sign, the yacht sign. Our yacht sign is actually very huge, very big, very huge. So we install it all around the community, all around, our territories. We do what we call the four corner sale. So at the end of the install, we tell our installers to go to four homes close to the install and let them know, that we were here. We just installed, Mr. A's, gutters, and just in case, they need a cleaning, they need a whole new install, they should give us a call. And once we get, leads from that, the installers, we pay them, the cost we could have paid Google. So,
Yeah, that's
so
smart.
based on that, they are also motivated. So they also buy into the vision, of that. Yeah. Then Facebook, yeah, we also do that too.
Okay.
So right now we're part of about 12 to 15 groups, huge groups, and cut across different territories. And every week we send out, information into the groups.
Oh, good. Okay.
And yes, we do get leads from them too. So that's been very helpful.
Good morning again. So now I have the pleasure of introducing Colleen. I just met Colleen a few weeks ago, but I've had a wonderful time getting to know her. She is the founder of a website that connects parents and their kids to fun, age-appropriate activities within our communities. And one of the things that I really admire about her is that she didn't wait for somebody else to step in and do it. She saw a need and she filled it. So please join me in welcoming Colleen with Bloomsburg Kids website.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. Like I just mentioned, I was going to give a brief background of my history, but I'm also an accountant. So I went to business school. I got my CPA. I worked in Philadelphia for about 10 years with PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a very large consulting firm. And I learned a lot of things there. And then I switched into over into nonprofit, and I found that that's where my love was. I absolutely loved working in the nonprofit field. I worked at, see if I can change it, there we go. I worked at a startup nonprofit, actually. It was called Back on My Feet. And when I started, we were in one city. And by the time I left, after 2.5 years, we were in 11 cities across the country. So we really got a taste of what it took to kind of grow a business and what it looked like and things like that. I met my husband. He grew up here. He loves Bloomsburg. So I knew that if I married this man, I was going to end up back in Bloomsburg. When we started having a family, I became a stay-at-home mom and came back here. And I now have 3 kids. I was a little antsy just being at home, so I joined a couple of nonprofit boards and helped them with their finances. I found, being a transplant and being from New Jersey, it was easy to find a couple things going on for my kids, but it kind of seemed like I needed to know the right people on Facebook to know about different events that were going on, or I just had to spend a bunch of time. And I had time because I stayed at home, but I just kept thinking, what about the mom that works full time? What about the mom that has 2 jobs? What about the mom that doesn't have how are they possibly having the time to kind of find out the Roar Box and the butterfly farms and there's so many amazing resources in the area. And I thought too, technology is really available now and it's not that hard to build websites. So I just started tinkering around and built a website. I thought pretty hard about the mission and the words that I used because I really wanted to use kind of existing resources and pull people together. So our mission is to provide quality information, that is an important piece, about local resources for children so that together we can help each other raise kids who are curious, kind, and extraordinary. The feedback that I'm looking for today is talk a little bit about revenue. So I built this with content in mind and helping people in mind with almost like a nonprofit background. I decided not to make it a nonprofit specifically because of all of my experience. There's a lot of overhead with board management and reporting, and then fundraisers and all of those things. And I thought if I can make this work as a business, I actually think that's kind of a much better way to go. So I wanted to talk a little bit about revenue. I know there's so much technology out there that I can pull into the website, and I'm curious if any of you have seen some technologies that I'm not using that maybe I could be using. And then finally, we are in the process of transitioning from Bloomsburg kids to Susquehanna kids. So we currently service almost to 5 counties. In January, we're going to launch a brand and a name change to Susquehanna kids. This is our timeline. Summer 2021 is when I launched. I just did a coming soon page because I was too nervous to launch the whole website, but I listed summer camps, and a lot of people were using it. And I was like, we're on to something here. And the big turning point was in the summer of 2023. There was a bunch of COVID money out there, and the Columbia County Commissioners were offering innovation grants. And I applied for $10,000 and I got it. With that funds, I was able to bring on a couple of moms to help me. So they're 1099 contracted, but they helped me with the blogs. They helped me with pulling events and weekly emails that we do. In 2023, I started with 1 user, 2 users. It starts to double. We were about 500 in June, 920 by August. So I formed an LLC. By February 2023, we had almost doubled again. I started working with the United Way and the CSIU, which are 2 kind of big organizations in the area. The Degenstein Foundation is interested in getting STEM programming out to some of more of the rural communities. So that $10,000 grant was for us to add locations to our website that are in the Sun counties. So it's Snyder, Union, and Northumberland. That happened in February. As of now, again, we're on track to kind of double within another 6 months of users, and we're planning for our Susquehanna kids expansion. This is the geographic area that we cover. Columbia and Montour is where we started, and you almost can't, if you're in Bloomsburg, you're going to go to Lewisburg. It's a pretty easy drive, and they have so many resources there. And Sunbury has all the outdoor activities, and Selinsgrove has the Selinsgrove Rec and some other amazing resources. So that'll be the full area that we're covering once we transition to Susquehanna kids. I'm going to try and do a brief tour of the website. Okay, so this is our homepage. We have a couple. I'm personally selling the advertising, so it's not going as quickly as possible. But I have it's $350 for a month of advertising on our homepage and on our calendar page. So we have a local bank and a local dentist that are sponsoring us right now. We have some of the things that we have are local listings. So local farm listing, if you click on that, if you scroll down, we have everything is mapped based. So the back of the website is a directory. So all the information is there, and you can kind of pull it many different ways that you want. And we try to have it kind of like streamlined and look nice. Parents don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of time to be poking around. So we try to, again, make it as streamlined as possible. If you can go back to the homepage, I'll go down to the next piece. So we have each season we'll have a themed, so the holidays for Santa, falls. If you want to click on the Halloween happenings, so we'll see big upticks seasonally, obviously. So Halloween, the trunk or treats, when is trick or treating time? So talk about Facebook groups. When we're on there, we see all of those questions, and we just keep linking them back here. So trunk or treats, we have over 30 right now that are listed. These are all the trick or treating times in the area that we keep updating. And then below we have the parades and things like that. So a lot of these things are sourced by churches or by firehouses that are run by volunteers. There's turnover. They don't quite know how to get the information out. So right now we're doing a lot of the pulling, but we do have the ability for people to add events on a free basis. We can also import calendar feeds. There's a lot of different ways for us to collect that information, and that's what I'm continually trying to figure out, what is the best and most efficient way for people to kind of add their information. So if you keep scrolling down, the calendar, this is kind of like the bread and butter of the website. So we have over like 200 events on the calendar each month now. And again, when I started, there weren't that many. Maybe we had 15 a month, where it just keeps ballooning and ballooning. And what I love about this software is it's a third-party software that I can pull in through a short code. This isn't embedded in our website, but it has all this functionality. So at the top, you can sort by county. You can sort by venue. So if you hit Columbia County, if you wanted to find out just what's going on here today, you would do that. And then if you go over to tags, we have over 70 different tags. So again, everything is coded on the back end, and so we can pull out just the information that we want. So an example is if you go down to preschools, because there's always story times and things like that. So if you have a preschooler and you want to know what's going on today in the area, you'd hit preschool. So, and now here's 2 story times that are happening kind of right in the area. And then all you have to do is, if you unclicked that county button up there, you're like, it's only 2, I want to look at some more. It'll now show you kind of, all right, well, here's in the whole 5 county region, there's another, another piece that are going on. And in our calendar, we have like diaper giveaways, car seat safety checks. We have, again, the police and fire companies will do, community days. That's all the stuff that we kind of have on this calendar, because I know that you can Google, but again, some places don't have websites. Those are some of the issues that we run into. So if you keep scrolling down, let's see, I do have the option for a business if they want to pay and be a featured directory member. And that will go here, and it'll be like a sliding rotation. So right now we just have that gymnastics studio. Again, I'm doing a lot of things right now, and I'm kind of doing all the things. We started a YouTube channel where we'll have shorts and reels so that people can get a sense for what things are like. So for example, this is one that we had for the Little League World Series. If you've never been there, it's kind of hard to understand when someone says the kids go down on cardboard boxes. Well, like, what does that mean? So this, the clip is a 20-second clip, but it gives you a sense. So as a parent, it's just really helpful to kind of know what you're walking into. If you keep going down. And then the other big piece that we have is we have a weekly blog. So we found that having new content on a weekly basis is really helpful for SEO and for bringing people and things like that. And we try to make them very relevant, and they also go out in our email newsletters. So if you click on the Bloomsburg Fair, was a really popular one that we have. But we'll basically go through and kind of, if you keep scrolling down, we'll go down and kind of segment things in like list form, but also have buttons to be able to kind of get to places quickly. So this was on the Bloomsburg Fair, and it was really, if I'm going to take my kid, what are some tips and tricks and things like that. And then if you go back to the home screen, I think there's just one more thing that I'm going to show you guys, and then I'll open it up for questions. So if you scroll down, this is so again, this is the directory is the backbone. It's the underbelly of the website. And so if you scroll down a little bit more, it kind of shows the different categories that we have. So you click on preschools. I just wanted to show you what one of them looked like. So if you go to the preschool on the right-hand side, it's the map, and you can open it up and things like that. But on the left-hand side, if you scroll down, it's got a listing of all the preschools. And then at the top, you can filter. So you can filter by age, you can filter by free. We have all abilities on there. And again, what I love is that all the information is on the bottom, and then we can pull it up however we want. So we have an indoor birthday party listing. We have the farm listing that we just did. I didn't have to recreate that. That was already, again, in the bottom of the website, and we're just able to pull it up, put a button on it, and direct people directly there. I think that's it for the tour for the website. And then again, going back to the revenue streams that I have right now are some advertising. So I was able to pull in about $10,000 last year through selling, $350 a month, $750 for a page, and then but largely it's been the community support. So it was that the couple big chunks that we got. The United Way is still interested in supporting us. The CSIU is interested in supporting us. So what I found is the more if I just keep doing it and keep building it, there's growing interest. And then I just keep trying to connect with as many people as I can. So I've met with the visitors bureaus, I've met with the Chamber of Commerce, just letting people know that we're out there. And if people want to use this as a resource, it's possible. And then I am trying to upsell businesses in the directory. So right now, everything's free. The calendar is free. To be in the directory is free. I wanted to have as much on there as possible, so I didn't want to charge anything up front. But I think the more popular we get and the more that we grow, I'll be able to upsell different things in the directory. And then the other piece is technology. So I know AI is coming down the pike, so I envision having a little bot chat pop up and say, didn't find what you're looking for, let me help, and using that AI plug-in to search our website to find it. I also think getting information, a lot of businesses face this, but getting information is kind of one of the big hurdles. So that's another piece that I'm looking at. So I welcome any feedback.
I'll start it off. This is a great idea. It's truly remarkable. I could see it growing a lot from here. I have a question. Are you, do you have an email list?
Yes. So that is, we're at like 1,200 right now.
Okay.
But I think 6 months ago, I don't know if I stumbled upon it or I talked to somebody, but I came across that that's an asset for us. That's one thing we own.
It's gold.
It's gold.
In a business like yours, it's the gold mine. So moving people from an open marketing system like social media and that kind of stuff, paid advertising and things like that, moving them to a closed marketing system, getting people to raise their hand and say they're interested, and then providing them ongoing information to, that directs them to specific things on your website and so forth, to those resources, and then selling advertising. Once you build your list to a certain size, you can also then monetize that through offering advertising through your email newsletter.
Do you think that's more intriguing than the general website? To have that direct.
You're in the relation. We're all in the relationship business, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to build relationships. So when you move people to a closed marketing system, you have an opportunity to go deeper in that relationship.
Yep, that
and
makes sense.
provide select information and premium information, and get on my list because you don't want to miss something that's coming up. So I think that's something you might want to look at.
I'm constantly watching we're at a 46% average open rate, and the industry is like 10 to 30%. So people, when they're getting our emails, they want to, and I have them respond back with the birth years of their kids. We have that tagged all in the back end. Again, I'm just kind of waiting for some more time and some bandwidth, but if we know when your kid was born, we know if you have a preschooler or a middle schooler or a high schooler, and when we're sending events, everything's tagged on the calendar too. So we have the ability to send that directed information, just not quite there yet. Okay.
Another resource for advertising I'm thinking of is the Bucknell Wise Center for the Performing Arts. Have you reached out to them?
I have. They advertised an event for us last year.
Okay,
So
they have family-friendly events, I know, and so I'm thinking they might be willing to invest in your website to promote their upcoming events. And so if you want to reach out to Lisa Layton, she's in charge of marketing there. And then also, you were looking for some possible assistance with the website. There's a management class at Bucknell every year that has to have an annual project, and I know some of those students have worked with local businesses in regards to designing websites. So if you already have a website, they might be able to come in and help tweak it and give you some ideas of ways that you can possibly utilize their services and come up with some technology maybe that you're not aware of, but the students have to have that.
yeah.
Hi. Just a couple of quick thoughts. One is, with your email newsletter, I completely agree. That's a great opportunity for monetization, and it also will drive traffic better than any other methodology in the long run. Ignore your open rates. They will only break your heart. They will go down over time. So like what you're getting right now is very common. I'm getting 46%. Next month it's 35. Next month it's 8, and you're panicking. But that can be a function of your list growth.
Okay.
So the total opens, is the most important figure when you're looking at those stats. And then the last piece is you want to create not only an email list, but a text list. There are great softwares out there available. I can point you in some directions afterward if you'd like, but we're finding more and more that texting is a better way of getting people's attention if they volunteer for it. Now, they want you to give them good information very concisely, and allow them to stop getting it at any time. So you do need to have some software to drive that.
Okay.
But I think that's in the next 10 years, you're going to see a shift away from email to instant communication on your phone.
That makes so much sense to me from a parent perspective, because you kind of segment the email with work, and then home, is separate. So again, if they buy into it, if they're asking for it, that makes a lot of sense to me.
And if it's very well segmented, so you're only getting a text about events in Bloomsburg if that's all you want.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Got a brief question and more of an observation. So you're developing a fantastic list of people who have young kids, and I think that's going to drive avenue for advertising revenue for you.
Mm-hmm.
I currently run a business that makes pediatric crowns, so crowns for kids.
Okay.
And pediatric dentists, orthodontists, those are constantly looking for good sources of their target customers. And that's exactly who your customer base is. I would think they would highly value advertising through this platform as a means of reaching their clients across all those counties. It's a very specific customer base that they're looking for. And this is one of the best avenues I've ever seen for reaching that audience. So that's a very powerful thing. There's probably other businesses that are targeting families with young kids that are looking to advertise and reach them. And you're a great avenue to do that. So fantastic idea.
Oh, thanks. I went to the two that we actually go to, and they're so busy, like you can't get in. And so I don't, the two specific, like the pediatric dentistry of Lewisburg, they weren't necessarily looking for advertising, and the same with the orthodontist. But the advertising piece is a question. I had a thought that if I had kind of like a team of moms, and I didn't necessarily pay them, but once they sell the advertising, they get a chunk of it, then I could be in like 8 places at once. Because right now it's my to-do list, and I can only do so much.
That's fantastic, because they're going to be visiting these places anyway. They're visiting these places anyway. So if they get a commission or some referral fee, they're going to love that. Or even mention on your site, just to get some kind of recognition back to them for being part of your team and expanding the outreach. They might do it just for the recognition amongst their peers.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay. Thank you.
So my name is Taryn, and I'm actually with the Columbia Montour Chamber of Commerce. But before that, I was in advertising sales for the press enterprise. And so you say press enterprise, print media, what in the world? Everything's technology. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But this area, there's grandparents raising children, and technology scares the bejesus out of them.
Okay.
Some of them, not all, right? So even from, Obi's presentation too, of like what, for this area specific that is technology possibly averse, like what other ways you can get your information, like, hey, I have this website, which isn't as scary as other things, right? Or, Google is, what is Google, right? So what other, in this particular region, that's maybe technology averse, of how are we reaching those people? It's just something that's been bopping in my head sitting back here, especially having come from print media in my life, that and I said this when we walked into Mark, that the press enterprise still sells a phone book that's still profitable, right? That's bizarre for most areas. So, but the fact that it is still profitable, when I left the paper, my coworker had sold $100,000 by herself in the phone book. So like that, this area still has this technology weirdness about it. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out as just kind of my personal experience from being at the paper.
It's interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Taryn. I have some other questions about press enterprise, so I'll come.
Yeah, let me know.
Hi, Amy.
Good morning, Colleen. So as I'm listening to everybody talking, I'm getting all kinds of ideas. And so whether it's the cross-marketing, the closed marketing versus open marketing, or even the most recent suggestion about how else can we reach those people who are technology averse, I have the idea and suggestion that what does it look like to imitate what other people are doing? So what kind of directory can you create that people look forward to receiving, maybe for events that are consistent year after year after year? Second question I have is, how are you vetting the quality of the suggestions of the activities? Are we to that point in terms of, developing your business plan? Are we vetting them? Are they all quality? So then that leads me to, where are you getting the opinions about what's a great event and, what's one that's better than the next event? So that looks like having communication within that closed marketing. So is it going to be a Mighty Network instead of Facebook, or is it going to be Circle instead of Facebook? Where can we have that multi-directional communication where your people who are coming to your website to get suggestions are now commenting on what they've experienced, how their kids enjoyed it, those kind of things. So I think there's great potential to create a platform where people can talk about what they're doing, which will drive your affiliate marketing. It'll also drive the directory if you decide to do some sort of directory for activities that continue from year to year. And it ends up just keep folding in on itself and creating this bloom of opportunity in terms of marketing.
Yeah. When you talk about off-platform, again, we live in like the Facebook, Instagram kind of world right now with all the moms. But are you talking about a different system for communication? So it would like live on the website, but it would be like kind of a hub where people could comment and things like that?
So there's different platforms out there too that I mentioned. I happen to be a part of Mighty Network and Circle, but I know they're not the only two. And that's where the owner of the community runs it and controls it, whereas Facebook controls you and they shut you down at any time. These types of platforms, you won't be shut down. You're the one that controls it. You control what information is uploaded, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what your participants are allowed to say, not say, et cetera.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll look into that. We approve all the events on the back end. So I have a mom and her whole job is the calendar. So things get submitted and she takes a look at it and she helps to tag it. So if someone doesn't tag it correctly, she'll go in and tag it so then the information's all correct.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So we're a little over time, but we have time for another question.
Okay, I'll be very quick. So three questions. The first one has to do with, I know you had mentioned you had about 900 click rates.
So that was unique viewers per month.
Per month. Is there a way you can track them?
Track them how?
Yes, that's to get to know, who actually clicked, who pretty much visited your site, your website.
So who they were. So I can see the individuals. Google Analytics is a little funny about where they came from. Yeah. So I get like IP routes that are Philadelphia, and I know people, like I know someone in Bloomsburg instead of Philadelphia. Do you mean to get to know more about them?
To know more about them so that you can pretty much reach out to them. So for the fact that they clicked, on your site, that means they are interested in some way. Yeah. Something interesting.
And we do collect cookies. There's a whole rabbit hole of Google Analytics and that whole piece that I didn't even think about. On Facebook, I do, but on the website, that's a great point. Like if someone came to visit, then what happened? Like, can I send them an ad after they left?
Exactly.
Kind of bringing them back. Okay.
Then my second question, I can't remember now. You talked about change of name. What is the logic behind that?
So right now we're Bloomsburg Kids, but when I go to Lewisburg, it sounds not relevant. Or if we go to Selinsgrove, it sounds not relevant. Gotcha. So we're going to transition to Susquehanna, and then within that, you'll be able to navigate to like kind of like a Bloomsburg area, a Lewisburg area, and a Selinsgrove area.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And the third question has to do with your revenue stream.
Yeah.
So apart from, I know you haven't said advertising, getting paid through your adverts, the adverts and everything. So what are the other ways in which you think you can, gain revenue?
So you could potentially upsell members. So if you want to get, the summer camp calendar, ahead of everyone else, or if you want to have the functionality to bring it right into your calendar, you could, I could charge for that. So I could potentially charge people that are coming to the site for something. And then I could potentially charge businesses for different pieces of the services. So there's a functionality where you can put a checkbox next to each of the businesses. And if someone checks it and like puts in their information, that business then gets that lead. And I think, I could upcharge for that. So there's different things within the website that I think it could upcharge. But I just had the thought this morning, like, what if the press enterprise was like our media partner, and like because I get their morning paper every morning, and they list out a couple of trunk or treats, and I'm thinking, well, I've got 25 of them. We don't need to both do this. I'm trying to think kind of bigger scale. Like, can Geisinger be my $20,000 or $30,000 partner if they need something? Like, who are some of those kind of bigger businesses to kind of help me go to that next level?
If you think about the logic which Angie uses, Angie Home Advisor, they don't charge the people who log into them. So it's basically the users, so the contractors. So how does it work? We tell them, we are available. Anyone who wants, to work, with us. So how they get paid is basically through the leads they send. So, they charge the contractors basically, and not the end users. So think about that. You want people to log into your site without being charged. You should charge more of the people.
The businesses that have the stake in it. Because I want it to kind of like lift up the community. Like, I want someone that, can't necessarily afford to go to these things. Like, can they go on here and easily go to the free calendar and see all the events for their kids? That's really who it's. Again, that's like my nonprofit background, but I want it to be kind of open source to everybody. So, that's a good point.